The criteria. Presentation here. I'm going to go to PowerPoint. Some would call it a deck. Some would call it a, excuse me for that. And some just call it a slide series, whatever, but that's essentially what a PowerPoint deck is. It's just a series of slides. So you've got a title page. We'll talk a little bit about that. We've got an introduction. We've got your content, a conclusion, and the references. We talked a little bit about that earlier. So what do you want to do for a title page? Well, you start with the templates. If you go into a PowerPoint presentation, you go into design, you've got a number of different designs to choose from here that will give you the background or the backdrop for your particular slide. And within those slides, what you'll find, or within those backdrops, they're all set up so you can just insert the information, excuse me. So start with a template. Give it a title, even if the title is your own creation, or if it's just the question that's been posed in a manner that is an actual phrase, like what is a PowerPoint? You might say the basics of PowerPoint, so on and so forth. Put in your name, your course number, the date, instructor's name. Some students will put that in, but it's not it's not by any means mandatory. So just like any presentation, it has a middle, a beginning, a middle, and an end, and like any good story or paper. Your introduction should grab the attention. It's there to inform. You can be dramatic, you can use humor, but just make sure that it's appropriate. If it's not appropriate, if you're actually giving a presentation, you want to make sure that you can deliver a joke. Otherwise, it's going to be a very awkward start to your presentation. The middle is you should limit your information. We talked about not giving too much information. You always need to be aware of time. What is the time frame that you have to present, and you probably only want to spend about 1 to 2 minutes per slide. So they should be rather brief. Conclusions should summarize and restate what your topic was about. All right, so let's talk about images. So clip art is okay as long as it's within the PowerPoint, within your PowerPoint program. All right, so if you go in and you use images that are within PowerPoint, you should be okay. You shouldn't have to document that information. If you use information outside of what's in PowerPoint, you'll have to cite that, and you'll have to ask permission, actually. If you go to public domain websites, you can, as long as you cite that information, you shouldn't have to request to use it. So here's one public domain pictures. So we might do library and get some different pictures. They're easy to cite specifically because I believe this is the title, and then this is the person who took the picture. So you'd be for APA, even though we don't, at least what we have is a title of the picture, the person's name, and then the URL where we could find information or find that picture. So that's one, and then there's another one, public domain photos. They're both very good. I'm sure you could find different images that would be useful for your, stock images that are useful for your presentations. If you find something on the internet or there's other resources that you want to use, you can use them as long as you ask permission. And I'm going to show you how I did that for the presentation that I conducted. All right, so citing an APA, think of it same as a paper. You should include an in-text and a reference citation. For your in-text, it should be a parenthetical reference. You can cite with graphs and pictures. I did show you how to do a graph from a journal article in the Excel Excel spreadsheet presentation that we did, but you want to always keep the your citation close to the text. That's basically it. Include a reference list, and it should have hanging indents. Now, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can either just tab over anything below the first line, or if you do it in a Word document, you should be able to copy and paste it into your presentation. So I'm going to take the next 5 minutes here and go over a presentation that I created for a COM 106 course. All right, so the gist of this assignment is one of the things that the students have to do is put together a presentation of a place they'd like to visit, but they also have to include APA citations, information from outside, so on and so forth. So me being from Minnesota, as a lark, I put together a presentation on visiting the Mall of America because, you know, everybody loves to shop, so I thought everybody would have a good time with it. So I have a picture from the Mall of America here, which I have was an image that I got from the Mall of America website. What I did was I added the my parenthetical reference here is a term that I came up. It didn't come with an actual name or anyone that actually took the picture, so I don't know who took this picture. So it's I call flag and then no date because I don't have a date. Here is my introductory page. I'm just introducing everyone to Minnesota itself. And this quote I got here was from Culturegrams, which is a database that covers a number of different countries and states in the United States. So if you want demographic information, that's probably a good place to go. You can see here my parenthetical reference because it's a direct quote. I've got the title of the page, the year of publication, and then the paragraph that I found it in. So how big is it? Well, here's a quote that I got from that same website, from Culturegrams, excuse me, that same database, and I've got two images here that I've brought in from the Mall of America website. So one is titled The Facade, and the other is the aerial view. Up here, I don't have any information explaining what this is here because it's a clip art image. All right, here are two other clip art images that I got, and here's an article that I got from the, I think it was either the Criminal Justice Database or something to that effect, but this is information that I got out of that particular database about the history of the Mall of America. Here's one called Security Issues, just because I think there was actually a TV show called Mall Security or something like that, but what I've done here is, as far as images are concerned, these are both clip art images, but what I did was I took this image and turned it around and then cropped it. So this is actually the same face that you see up here, but because I've changed it, it just, it's got a totally different makeup to it. As far as the citation is concerned here, this was an as cited something. This individual here, this Reynolds guy, is the person that gave us this information down here, and I found it in this Griffin article under paragraph 8. So here's where I've added an Excel chart here, just some information about how much it's going to cost to stay there. I did create a column chart here as well as a pie chart. I wish I would have gone in and added the percentiles here, but you can see how much we'll be spending at the Mall of America, as well as over here I've included a citation for a picture that I got off the internet. From their website. Again, I've got 4 images here. All of them are named, as well as an itinerary for that particular day at the mall. And so in conclusion, just rounded everything up, and I don't know if everyone is familiar with the Boundary Waters, but it's an outdoor place where people like to go to canoe in the upper portion of Minnesota. It's a lot of camping, so it's kind of the total opposite of the Mall of America, ha. So any questions on that? And then I've got my references. Now, I did add a second set of references here that are just the images that I got from the website. So I'll send this out with you as well when I send out the other presentation, or maybe I'll have to do it as a separate presentation because it's probably going to be too large. But what I want to show you is this. we talked a little bit about that. But what I did was, in order to use those pictures from the Mall of America, I made sure that I went out and asked permission. And all that was me emailing someone at the Mall of America asking for permission. So I told them who I was, what I was using them for, and wondered if I could just use them for this presentation. If you look at the top of the page here, I did get a response back from Sarah Schmidt. I don't have the date on there, but I sent mine out on the 24th, and I think it was, or the 23rd, and I think I got a response back on the 25th. So it did take a day or two before I got the information, or I heard from the person. But this is the proper way to go out and secure permission to use someone else's work. So that's what you should do according to APA, is to make sure that you're that you're asking permission before you start taking information out off of the internet. So wrapping it up, all right, the audience dictates the content. So whatever you present, you want to make sure that it matches what the audience is looking for. So if you're doing this for your class or your instructor, make sure that you've got all the points that they're going to be looking for, so you'll get the full amount of points for that presentation. It's not exactly a paper, but it should include an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. And then always ask permission. We just talked about that. PowerPoint is a visual tool, so you want to make sure you use as many visuals as possible. It keeps people engaged with the presentation. At this point, what I'll do is I'll open it up for questions if anyone has any. Again, I want to thank everyone for attending, and right now I will